Well, greetings and thanks for joining us for another episode of Lightbulb Moments, episode number 163. You are either watching this live, participating with us, otherwise you are viewing this on YouTube or you're listening to it on the podcast. Regardless, we're glad you're joining us, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Tom Kuhn. I'm host and curator of Lightbulb Moments. I'm also CEO and founder of Qnity. What is a light bulb moment? Well, it's a moment of sudden realization, enlightenment, or inspiration. And we hope that in this forum, it'll start a fire. And remember, you can't start a fire without a spark. So hopefully you'll get some sparks today from our time together. At Qnity, we're here to help you go from what's confusing, overwhelming, and complicated to a simpler path towards prosperity, which is really about profitability, culture, and having a competitive edge. And to prosper, to remember to manage your ATM, the three currencies we have in life: attention, time, and money. Thanks for spending your precious time with us today. We love hearing from you. Feel free to submit a light bulb moment to your own on the website or in the chat, or reach out to any one of us. Today, very shortly here, we'll get to our special guest, which is Sudheer, who's the founder and CEO of Zenoti. I'm super excited about this conversation. We're going to be covering a couple of really cool topics, something from a benchmark report that they completed. And also we're going to talk a little bit about solutions with AI and whatever else that we decide to cover today. It's going to be an enriching session. Check out recent episodes. Our last guest was Dr. Pepper Pastor. I got a lot of feedback from this particular episode. She has done quite a bit of research, and we're working together to do more research as it relates to key areas in the beauty industry, including some things that came out of a recent study we did for chains, which is all about extending someone's a job tenure and career tenure in the beauty industry. Definitely check out that episode. Prior to that, we had Dave Murray from the DeJulius Group. He's a VP and an author. Just wrote a great book, co-authored with John DeJulius, who many of you know and love, like me. And so those are just a couple of recent episodes. We've also had a few other episodes preceding this that was part of a technology series that we've done. And today will be another part of our technology series with Sudheer. Lightbulb Moments is proudly sponsored by Lightheart Sanders, the CPA firm, Green Circle, and Forest. So thanks to those organizations for sponsoring this forum and allowing this information and these great guests and these Lightbulb Moments to come your way. Upcoming dates, we do have a couple programs coming up in Minnesota. On September 10th, we have our growth workshop. And then on September 9th, we have our profit workshop. I am co-teaching the profit workshop with Candice Gliata, and the growth workshop is led by Candice. We'll also have other educators and other members of our team. It's not too late to sign up for these sessions. If you're really looking to move the needle, whether it relates to sales growth or profitability, then come join us. We've also got a succession masterclass coming up. We do this just a couple times a year. That's going to be October 7th. And those are for current and future owners, especially for current owners that want to either go or let go. So this is a special thing. Again, we do just twice a year. Also, check out recent episodes from Money 02 from Aaron. Just great podcasts from very focused on the financial part of the business and money stories. So check out those. All right, so we are officially opening up the P&L benchmark study. Today is the day. Today is August 21st, and after much background, all the things that you don't need to know in terms of what goes into undertaking a study like this, assembling the team, make sure that there is protection of data, make sure that there's a proper way to outreach. It has been a huge project to even get to this point, and now we're pleased to be able to open up submissions. And why this matters: profitability is a crucial metric for a business, but yet there's really been a lack of comprehensive industry-wide study on profitability. And we have undertaken a study like this. It's been 10 years. It's very complicated and it can be overwhelming, but we got a great partnership with Lightheart Sanders, the CPA firm, that is going to do much of the analysis, along with the University of Texas, Austin, Matt Kammer Kerwack. So we've got a winning team that will not only protect your information, but also come up with actionable insights. Everybody will get their own scorecard. And so in the chat, we will have someone put a link. It's on our webpage. I think there's actually a page there that talks about studies. So this is the P&L studies. How to participate? There's a couple of, it's pretty simple. It's actually much simpler than any other study we've done in terms of submission. There's a very short survey that gives us the information we need to know. And then you will upload your 2023 and 2022 P&L statements in one single Excel file. We do have a video that's provided by Lightheart Sanders on step-by-step how to do this. Very simple. The heavy lifting is on our end, not on your end. A big shout out to our sponsors on this. Lightheart Sanders is not only the designated firm that the P&L data goes to, the independent CPA firm, but they're also a sponsor of this study, along with the 2 to 10 Project, Neil, Wella, Aveda, Boulevard, and Zenoti. Great shout out to Zenoti, who happens to be our guest today, which we'll get to in just a moment here. My light bulb moment this week is really a good segue into the conversation that we're going to have with Sudheer. And it's really on the subject of benchmarks. And I have been furnished some information from Zenoti. They've done some great white papers. They've also done a benchmark report, and I'm dying to get to this. So without any further ado, what I'd love to do is welcome to the mic and to the camera, Sudheer. Good morning. How are you?
Morning. Good being here.
It's early for you. You're in Seattle, right?
Yes, absolutely. But glad to be here.
Well, you've got a great story, Sudheer, and I one of the things that I love to do with my guests is just get behind the curtain a little bit here, and I think it's a very interesting journey that you've been on. I mean, you were in India. You actually started a chain of, call them spa, salon, fitness centers. You started an academy. Just spend just a quick minute about the business that you created and then ultimately sold.
Yeah, I mean, I was very passionate about wellness after working about 16 years in tech and doing very high-end tech software for large enterprises, large companies kind of stuff, whether it's Microsoft or a company I'd started, but got super passionate. So I ended up starting a chain of these integrated fitness, spa, salon, yoga, wellness, foods, everything under one umbrella. We had about 6 of these, and built them out at the standards that we would have in the US. But at the time, I happened to go back to India, so I did that business in India. I was, truly passionate about saying, hey, I want to help people in their journey towards wellness. And it was a big priority for me at that stage of life, because I kind of discovered how people get too busy and don't focus on their personal well-being kind of stuff. So, yeah.
And it was really a pain point that you had in your business about software that led you into a different direction. Take us on that chapter, if you would.
Yeah, and so basically, when I was running the business, I did find it very hard in a distributed space where the stores were in different places, cities, and trying to manage everything. And I did try a lot of the systems available at the time. This was back 2009, 2010, exploring options to run a chain. And I found it very challenging. And I realized, wait a second, this is how the whole world runs with software. It looks like it's not just me. And I felt, well, my potential, in life possibly resides in doing software rather than the wellness business, which I was doing. Though it was well run, very profitable, everything, but I realized I should go do this if I'm passionate about wellness. There are a lot of people who do these stores who are very good at it, whereas maybe my contribution to the industry could be to do the software. So that's why I sold that business, and I ended up starting Zenoti kind of thing.
And you started Zenoti, what was it, 2010?
Yeah, late 2010 is when I started Zenoti, yes.
Yeah. And then fast forward today and you're in what, 30,000 locations? Is that correct?
Yes, yeah. But the first 3, 4 years we were really, since I started in India, all the product development happened in India for the first couple of years because we were trying to build a really enterprise class solution, not a simpler solution. And so took time, but then after that it was 2014 when I moved back to the US and said, the US was the focus of the company. And today, which 85% of our company is focused on the US, with the rest being UK and Australia.
Gotcha. So you're in a couple of other English speaking countries then.
Yes, yes.
Yes, got you. Well, there's a lot about your story, et cetera, that I think is super interesting. And we can explore that. But what I'm really dying to get into is some of this information that's been published.
Yes.
And in particular, so we're going to go through really two main topics today. And it always flows very organically. Number one is I'd like to walk through the 2024 Beauty and Wellness Benchmark Report, the Salon edition. And then we'll spend some time on AI. And you're very passionate about AI and how that's going to affect the future. And you've got another great white paper on that. But I want to start with the data. I got to be honest, I've just been geeking out on this. Okay.
Sure.
Because I get questions like this, the kind of studies that we've done. We've done studies on compensation, we've done studies on profitability, but we haven't done a study like this. It's not in our wheelhouse. It's in your wheelhouse because you have all of this data that's very transactional. So I've been dying to find something like this, and members of your team told me this existed, but then I got it and I thought, okay, I'm into this. So I'm going to kind of walk through it. Okay.
Sure.
So, first of all, just a little bit of a context. So this is the third year that you've done a study like this? Is that correct?
Yes. And yeah, we have been very passionate about saying, a lot of software solutions don't provide this data, though they have access to it because they have not built their systems in a manner that you can get such aggregate data out of the system. Whereas from day one, we designed it that way, but we had to wait for the last 3 years to, as you said, to have the scale so that the data makes sense. And so we are pretty passionate about, sharing this data back with the industry, and we've been doing it for 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so complementary to the work that we're doing. And, so what's the purpose of this? I mean, it's well put in here. It's relevant, actionable insights to benefit owners and managers. And these insights can help drive revenue growth most effectively. I think it's super relevant and actionable. Now, this was 2023. And the data that I'm looking at is primarily for salons, barbershops, and nail studios, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Growth, 4% growth, and 1% location expansion. Would you describe location expansion and why there would be a difference? I mean, so we saw 4% overall growth for the category, but location expansion only 1%. Any comments about that?
Yeah, that's basically saying across, obviously not all brands are adding stores and locations, but some brands are. So there's a certain amount of growth that comes from adding locations to the industry. And so we are just highlighting how much growth came from location versus same store sales growth, right? So
yeah, gotcha. Okay. And a couple of notable trends. There's two of them. Well, there's a lot of them, but there's a couple to highlight here. Membership revenue models. Let's go to that one for a moment.
yes. Yeah. So memberships is where we are really seeing a significant uptick. A lot of people write off memberships as meant for spas and massages, etc. But in the salon space as well, we separately analyzed that and said, hey, even in salon, membership businesses not only have better growth overall, year-on-year growth, they're seeing faster growth. And there are other attributes of these businesses also that tend to stand out, that they have better customer retention, better, ticket sizes, etc. So I do think memberships are working even in the other segments outside of a massage kind of thing, because people think of it as massage envy or hand and stone. But I do think there is Boardroom Salon, which is well known for their membership, but there are many others also who are doing successful membership business models.
You also highlight businesses expand their customer connections using digital touch points such as online booking, check-in, tax, mobile app, continue to have higher revenue. So you see a correlation between higher revenue and these attributes?
Yes. So that's another interesting data point we find is that businesses which do a good job of pushing more people to the online portals and say, hey, let's make sure our 40, 50% of our bookings coming from online or digital engagement by the customer rather than calling the store. Those businesses find that they have the people who book online have higher ticket sizes and more frequency of visits as well, because I think you provide the convenience, so they never miss an appointment. They make it, in the middle of the night, whatever they're making the booking. And even the software is usually like, front desk can always be busy in terms of asking for add-ons, like, would you like to add this on to your service? Whereas the software is never tired. Obviously, it's going to ask every time the same question in the context of the service they want. So you do find that the average ticket sizes tend to be better. Not only that, when you say, and you have digital ways of paying tips, etc., people who pay digitally versus, the front desk adds the tips are higher for the employees, where they can get the customer to digitally choose that kind of thing, right? So data does show this. It's not us making it up, but no matter what software you use, making an investment in ensuring that, hey, are we pushing more people online? Are we making it easy for them to buy add-ons and everything does have an impact, is what we see.
I found this one interesting. Businesses with the highest revenue have high rates of online booking and rebooking. Top 10% have online booking rates more than double the average salon. Further, the rate of rebooking a client within 24 hours of a visit is 2.8 times the average salon.
Yes. So basically what we did is we took the best performing salons and said, hey, what stands out about these businesses, right? So the best performing salons are those that meet those criteria that you just laid out, which is they are very good at pushing people online, booking online, rebooking. These characteristics stand out for these businesses. And so, many people may feel, no, it's a very personal, our industry is a very personal thing, right? People come in for a service, it's a high touch industry, etc. But I do think customers do want that digital engagement and experience. And those that provide that do end up doing better for many reasons. I suspect even the front desk is more free to work with customers because they're not getting as many calls. The online bookings do generate more revenue, etc. So, and even customer engagements in terms of asking for feedback right after they leave, asking for a referral, saying, hey, from a friend of yours, having that process, or asking for Google reviews and making it all digital so that it's at the right time you're coming in and engaging with the customer. It makes a difference. So the best salons do an awesome job of this, and those who don't invest in it do end up being a little underperforming relative to others. And so, but I think today technology makes it quite easy to do this. We've of course been strong pioneers in investing a lot in digital experiences. A lot of the people who chose Zenoti early chose us because we had the best consumer experiences enabled. But no matter which system you use today, I do think a lot of people have good digital experiences. So it behooves all the salons since past to really focus on that, I think.
I think it's interesting that from a growth standpoint, nail salons had the highest growth, 12% salons, 4% in barbershops, 5%. So nail salons, huh?
Yeah, I mean, very interesting data. I wouldn't have expected that at all. But maybe it speaks to it because I see a lot of the expansions of businesses also is in the nail salons. We see a lot of new nail salons opening, new brands, whether it's in the US. There's a large brand in the UK called Townhouse, which is really innovating in the nail space. And, so I think there's some research these folks must have done that there is a demand out there and, really going after nails. And we are seeing that segment grow quite a bit.
Well, another conversation would be finding nail technicians, but we'll save that for another day. Uh,
Yes.
the area that I want to focus the most attention on is out of the three categories between salons, nail salons, and barbershops would be salons. And I love just having this breakdown of current information and breaking down a dollar, 80 or percentages, 83% services, 9% retail, 5% gift cards, 2% memberships, and 1% packages. Interesting to see a breakdown like that. I haven't seen something like that in a while. I'm guessing that the membership and the packages are growing. Um, are you finding that the retail number is coming down? I didn't look at last year or the year before.
No, I don't. I don't off the top don't recollect honestly, but happy to look into it. And but it's I think pretty similar. The retail numbers haven't changed materially, but the membership number is growing. And as I said, the other thing is not just that the percent of revenue that comes from membership is growing, but the businesses which have memberships are growing faster than other businesses. That's what we see. And gift cards is another segment much ignored. I do think there's a big trend. The gift cards, by the way, went up a lot. The sales of the gift cards, of course, they were small base on which they're going up, but the online sale of gift cards in particular went up a lot. I forget the number off the top, but it's a significant growth that we saw. The reason gift cards are going up, in my view, is I think the world has reached a point where we are tired of knowing what do I give people. We've gifted, everybody is affluent enough that everybody has a phone, everybody has a watch or whatever. So next year, what am I going to gift? And I think people are, and also the younger generation is moving more into gifting experiences than, things to hang on to in life. And so I do see some businesses are really killing it with gift card sales. There are 2, 3 windows in the year where they collect, almost like 20% of their revenue comes from gift cards at the right time. And I think making it easy, one can buy and email a gift card online to any friend anywhere. All that is a good thing. So I think worth investing in that. I can tell you very clearly we are seeing some strong results from some brands who are making an effort in that area. This is not just about technology, right? It's about the brand has to choose to say, you know what, we will have the gift card, we will promote it, we'll send mailers to people around Mother's Day or, and Father's Day, etc.
Yeah, I'm loving this. So when I'm going to go through some other sections of the report here, and I think what is to give people a context here, the data is broken down between top earners, which will be the top 10% in revenue collection for each category. Then high achievers would be the top 25%. And then average would be the revenue for the average earnings. So I'm going to repeat that, okay? Top earners are the top 10%, high achievers the top 25, and then you have average. So we've got 3 different stratification. Everybody can remember that. That'd be great. And this is really, so first I'm going to go revenue per center. I'm going to look specifically at salons. So the top 10%, I'm going to round if it's within, thousands of dollars is 1.4 million. So per center, per location, 1.4. High achievers, big drop, 775,000. And then average would be 480,000. So that's really very interesting. I've never seen data like that.
Yeah.
Now, we've had some data like that from the 2 to 10 project, but it's a little bit dated. Let's go to something that's a little bit more dynamic here, and that's average ticket size and guest per spend. Top earners in salon categories 100, high achievers 62, and then average 43.
Yeah.
Any comments about that one?
No, I think it kind of, see, the thing is obviously the better performers are also, maybe some of them are just more luxury and high-end places who charge a lot of money. So naturally the ticket sizes would vary in that fashion. So it also helps. Some of it, of course, is based on some other performance attributes as well, as I mentioned, as to why these are like doing better online booking and those kinds of things enable people who book online to have higher ticket sizes consistently. And so, but it also helps to categorize it in this fashion, because when you look at all the attributes in the benchmark report, you can easily say, well, I belong in this bucket because my average revenue is, more than annual revenue is more than $1 million, etc. And then it's easier to compare yourself with that peer group kind of thing, because it's an industry. That's our struggle. Though we have a lot of data to say, how do we make the data relevant? So otherwise, it's like, who am I comparing against kind of thing, So we actually put together even narrower reports like the med spa or the nails separately, so that people can understand, how do I compare with nails? Don't mix me up with others.
All right, let's go through upsells. I think this is super interesting. So this would be service retailer gift card sales added to an invoice after the check-in. And a drum roll here. Upsells as a percentage of earnings for salons is 20%.
Yes. So 20% of the revenue gets added after the customer has checked in for their appointment. That's so we actually have that data, so we can tell you when was that added, right? So it helps you to know, do you do 20% after the customer has checked in? If you don't, then you're missing out. That means others are able to do that, right? So
That's a really cool benchmark, actually. I've just never seen it. If anybody has anything in the chat, go ahead, put it in here. But I definitely was geeking out on this. Let's go into gift card sales just for a moment. Data shows 25% of all beauty and wellness gift cards are redeemed by a new customer. Huh.
yes. So people worry a lot about gift cards, saying, you know what, it's only my own customers who are going to get the promotional gift card and use it, so why should I offer it? But the point is, 25% of the gift cards do go to new customers. So these are new people. And then you have to look at the lifetime value of these new customers, right? How many of them are you able to retain? Even if you can retain half of them, that translates into a long-term revenue stream for the business. Though you may have compromised on the 75% who are, hey, they are your own customers who just bought a gift card you gave them a good deal. It's okay. Sometimes people, they appreciate it because it's given it a good, nice festive moment, or a time of the year. It's people appreciate it, your customers.
So 7% growth of online gift card sales at salons, which is outpacing other growth. That's a really nice number to know that gift card sales are growing like that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to keep going on this. We'll leave a little time for AI, but I think there's so many other just really fascinating things. Online booking rate. And you also are showing a correlation between top performers, high achievers, and average. So the top performers, this is percentage of appointments booked by guests online via mobile app or at an in-person kiosk. Top performers for the salon category was 68%, high achievers 41%, and then average was 30%. Any comments about online booking and performance? And you showed some already.
Yeah, I think the online booking stuff is not just about technology. It's about the company's culture, right? They encourage people saying, hey, book your appointment online. Did you know it's available, kind of thing. And so 68% of appointments being booked online for the high achievers is a big number. I mean, and I do think it'll keep moving up to 80, 90% over time. But the fact that the large majority is at 30% shows there's a lot of improvement in the industry that can be done, which is about just making sure people know that, I have an online booking. You can go book it here, put it on the front desk. And when you send a mail, when they leave the store, sending them a message, thanks for your visit, and saying next time you can book online too. Here's a link or whatever. I think making sure people know and get used to it is a good thing, because often people may not realize that the brand actually has an online booking. They may not even bother because they're so used to calling the store every time.
You have a page here about Google, percentage of Google bookings scheduled by new customers, salon 25%. Could you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah. So one of the things a lot of people in the industry have talked about, and business models keep coming out where they say, hey, there's going to be this new app, which is Book My Salon, and they're going to help people get new appointments like we used to have. What was that? I'm forgetting, blanking out of the name, the discounted portal where you could get discounted appointments to your store. And there are a lot of other such businesses trying to build portals. But I want to make sure people understand that portal, which you think will drive revenue to the stores, is going to be Google. There isn't another person who can even come remotely close to touching what Google can do for you. So investing in your Google online presence, putting photographs regularly and updated. Google likes it when you put saying every now and then, every week, 2 weeks, you go update a couple of new photographs, refresh any kind of comments on your Google listing. All that helps a lot because Google gives preference to those when you search kind of things, simple things like that. And so we are integrated with Google. So which means when you go to Google, you search it right there. You can say book now and book an appointment right there and leave. You don't need to go anywhere else kind of thing, right? So that is increasing a lot, and we are seeing meaningful growth from bookings that come through Google for salons. So ensuring that you are nicely integrated with the Google listing and the booking is convenient. Like, for restaurants, you can say reserve a table right in Google and pick a, restaurant and the time you want, etc. So you can do that even for a salon and spa, but those who do that well are getting more bookings through Google. And I would really emphasize, don't underestimate the power of what Google can do for your business.
No-show rate, wide range. Top earners 0.1%, high achievers 0.7%, and then average 2.5%. 2.5% no-shows compared to 1.1%. Significant.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to move
I think it correlates with saying, the high performers also use good digital systems. So they remind customers before you come the day before, on the day of the appointment. There's just so many reminders that come to you and all that. So they tend to do that. And some of the best performing ones will also insist on a deposit or card on file, which drives down no-shows as well, kind of thing. So.
Now, I'm going to share some numbers that may challenge people's assumptions about benchmarks with rebooking, which by definition is percentage of appointments booked within 24 hours of the latest service. Top earners, 33%. I actually expected that might have been higher. High achievers, 18%, average 12%. So only 12% rebooking rate for the average business. Wow.
In fact, we extended that window as you just listed, right? So people got it. It's not rebooking in the store alone. It's like you have to book within 24 hours of your appointment, and we give credit to it saying, okay, we'll assume it's a rebooking because you sent them a message saying, hey, why don't you book your next appointment? And they booked it. So it's not as high as you might have thought. Yeah.
Wow, I'm dying to read the chat. I just saw something pop up from Christine, who said she's taken notes like a mad woman. And if you have some questions about specific data points, just stick with us. I'm just going to stick with what's actually in the report. If you have a question about another data point, then either we don't have it or it's just not something we're going to focus on today. I think utilization, yeah, someone else has taken notes like a mad woman. Utilization rate, this is interesting. Percentage of available time in which services are delivered, and you have top earners are 88%, high achievers 79%, and the average is 67%. So average utilization rate, which some people call productivity rate, is 67%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people cost being the highest cost for us, if we can move that utilization up, profitability, to your point, to your profitability study, it'll make such a big difference. Yeah.
All right, I think I've just got a couple more, and then I'm dying to share all of this because I know people are getting into it. Otherwise, I wouldn't do this, Sudheer. All right, revenue per provider, very interesting. In the top earners, the revenue per provider was 102,000. High achievers was 70, average was 50. Okay, revenue per service provider. Huh. I don't know that you have any comments about that one. The tip rates. This is interesting. All right. Pretty narrow band on this one. Top earners, 17%, high achievers, 16%. The average is 15%.
Yeah. I think, yeah, that's very hard to, it's not, yeah, on the average, it probably is similar, but I think there's a little bit, maybe we didn't include it this time, or I don't know, but the difference between online digital tipping versus in-store tipping is a little bit more meaningful. There's a 3% or so difference between people who tip digitally versus they tip, the front desk.
So this is really reported tips that go through the system, right?
Yes, not the unreported tips. We have no way of knowing what happened in cash. Yeah.
Nor does anybody. All right. Well, listen, we could end right now and I would be delighted with our time together. I mean, I'm still soaking this stuff up. And I've even talked to you a little bit about being able to use some of this information in some of our courses because it's not an area that the Qnity Institute has studied and we won't. We don't have this kind of data. So it's very complimentary. So congratulations to you and your team for doing this. I'm very impressed with these data points and it's super relevant and actionable. So thank you for that.
And yeah,
All
and if
right.
people have feedback and would like to see in the 24 report, hey, you should report this also, or these other 4 metrics, I would love if they can channel it through you and let me know, because we are just passionate about making sure the industry has all the right data. So we would be more than happy to look at any data metrics. We do have a lot other data metrics, which we don't put it because we feel it overwhelms people with putting so much data. But if someone feels no, something belongs in the overall industry report, we would be very open to hearing.
Well, expect that from me.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
I've already got some ideas and I've already got another idea that would, I think, take this to a whole nother level. What you're already doing is great. I'll save that for another episode and for a private conversation, but I know it's a heavy lift to do this and I do have a couple of ideas we'll save for later. All right. Oh, you got another Seattle person saying hi. Well, formerly from Seattle, Sydney Berry. All right, let's talk about AI. And you have another great white paper on that one, which is titled, Can AI Do This For Me? And we've had other guests talk about AI, and but let's go through some of your key points. And I think you break it down, if I'm summarizing correctly, between AI-powered phone system, AI-powered navigation, AI-powered marketing, and analytics. I think I've got that right. Phone, navigation, marketing, and analytics. But I'm just going to turn it over to you, and I'm going to move away from actually referencing the report and just let you just speak about the power of AI and some of your points of view, your technology, et cetera.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the way I would have, I mean, rather than just focus on our technology for everybody's benefit, I would just say, see, the way we think about AI is that, of course, ours is a high touch industry. We're not going to replace AI, isn't going to change our business. I mean, I do think it's, people are going to get nails and facials and, haircut with people, and the connection and the bond of sitting in a chair and talking to someone isn't going anywhere in the near future is what I would vouch for. Though you do see the occasional robot on Instagram or somewhere in China, they're designing a robot which is going to cut your hair or do stuff. I think culturally, it's going to take a very long time to get there. Meanwhile, though, AI can help us in other areas, which is not associated with that kind of touch and experience for the guest, right? So we think of everything as saying, can you give AI a chance to do something in your business? And if it does a good job, great. If it doesn't, people should still be in control. So an example like Tom, you were just referencing AI-powered phone line. Okay, the phone rings. Today we have, Zenoti has the ability to say, when the phone rings, of course, you pick up the call, you answer the call, you take care of the guest, and all that happens. But then AI is actually transcribing the call, recording and analyzing the call, and the owner gets a mail saying, hey, I think these 3 calls didn't go very well in my view. This was your human who was doing the call, basically. The next phase is you say, can we route half the calls to an AI agent? The customer doesn't know they're speaking to an AI agent. This is what ChatGPT and all the world is about. And so then, but even those calls are rated and transcribed by a different AI agent, which rates the call and says, just like the humans' calls are rated, the AI agent's calls are rated. And so you get a report on both, and you get to assess saying, is the AI agent outperforming my employees, or is it that there's value in having my employees pick up the call, right? So it frees up your staff over time to do other things. So that's the direction in which you should think of as AI is everything you try. Like, let's say you're trying to place a purchase order or define a schedule for your employees. Why can't AI take a shot saying who should come to work, how many hours, because of the utilization, the percentage we talked about? and say, let it give me the first shot, but I still am the boss. I get to decide whether I agree with you or, you didn't get that right kind of stuff, right? So that's the philosophy you should think of in terms of AI. In other aspects that you reference, like AI for navigation or analytics, is a lot of people spend a lot of time building all kinds of reports, very sophisticated reports. I've met with, of course, many interesting salon leaders who have different ways of looking at the business and growing the business. And they're very particular about, this is the way I look at my data. I think AI is going to change that, where you can throw away all the reports and you say, what is the question you want? You want to know why is it that this new product line is not selling? Just ask AI and say, and so in Zenoti, we have something called Zini, and you can ask Zini saying, hey, what's happening with this particular product? Why isn't sales going up? Or why is this person employees numbers lower this month? AI actually can, you'd be surprised that I've been surprised, honestly, that it goes and figures it out and says, well, these 4 guests didn't show up, so obviously this person's numbers are down or something else is going on. So it gets to the root of the issue versus us trying to be smart and figure out and working hard with the reports and making sure we are on top of our business. I think the analysis insights that AI can provide will be quite useful in the industry over time. So you'll see all this only mature more and more. Even marketing, it's a big art where you say, when should you send what mail to which customer? First, you have to retain your existing customers if they don't come back in 30 days or their pattern is broken. I think you'll find AI to start solving those problems more meaningfully for you. So a lot of areas we can get into, Tom, but early days, I do feel in terms of where AI is in the industry, but you will find definitely there will be an impact in our industry. And I do think profitability of businesses will really go up a lot more using AI. That should be the end goal of all this for any owner is, hey, am I making more money because of AI?
Yeah, really interesting about report analysis and looking for trends and different things that otherwise you'd print a report or view it on your screen, you'd scratch your head, you'd try to look at different cause and effect. I think those are some really fascinating examples. To, instead of doing the analysis yourself, is just do a prompt and voila, here's a good insight from it.
Yeah, and even operational stuff. Let's say today people use software, front desks have to be super smart. I've actually started front desk because I told you I used to run a business and my salon and spa were very busy. So, and it was overwhelming for me sitting at, I used to tell this receptionist saying, why do you need one more person? I think one person can handle this job. And I said, okay, let me show you. And when I sat, I realized, okay, you're right, I'm wrong. We need to have 3 people at the front desk to handle this workload. And I learned a lot that way, right? But then AI can help you with a lot of front desk stuff. You can say, hey, why does this person get this discount, on the invoice? So you'll have these things like Microsoft has this Copilot, right? You can have a Copilot in Word and you can talk to the Copilot and ask it to do. Similarly, you'll have, we are actually, Zenoti already has something called Zini, which is a Copilot. And you ask Zini the question and Zini says, oh, this is because he's part of this group. We sent him this mailer and hence he's getting this discount kind of stuff, right? Or, any question around operational parameters can be addressed by AI itself.
Anything else AI related before we start to move into wrap up here?
No, I think it's a long journey, definitely. And we have some interesting content on our website as well. People can read it to see some of it is, products which we do offer. Some of it is belief systems and philosophy of how we expect this to unfold in the industry. So it's useful to track how it is. And I do think, the key message I would leave with everyone is, see, what will happen, just like when you had internet come along and different technologies come, early adopters get a competitive advantage to others, right? So if you're a salon and you adopt AI faster, you get a competitive advantage. But if you look out 3 years, 5 years from now, it's going to be mainstream. Everybody's going to be using AI. It doesn't matter who it is, right? So when these inflection points come in the industry, people who make the time to learn about it and see how can it help my business fundamentally will outperform their local competition. So it behooves everyone. And I do think AI is the biggest thing that is going to happen in our lives in the next 5 years. I don't believe, and the pace of change will be faster than whatever we expected,
Yeah. And are we ready for it as a human race?
Yes.
I think that,
That is a big dilemma, definitely. I think we are underestimating what AI might do to the human in terms of jobs and all that stuff long term for the, we'll have to see.
all right. You have an event coming up here, Energize. I'm actually going to be part of that program. I'm pleased I'm going to be able to present some of the information from the P&L study and also moderate a panel. Spend a moment just talking about Energize, which is coming up in October.
Yeah, we have this event which we put together called Energize, which is not about Zenoti, by the way. It's like you hear from all the industry. The way the event is structured is we actually get new benchmark data by October, which is the latest up-to-date benchmark data. We see what the data points to. So let's say we talked about just now gift cards or memberships, and we put the three businesses which are very good at gift cards on the stage, and they go talk about, hey, what are you doing about gift cards? How is it that you're getting these numbers, right? What are the challenges? Don't you think gift card is a revenue leakage? You're giving a discount. Why would you do it? And so then similarly, memberships, there'll be a panel on it with people talking about it who are very good at it. So you hear from industry folks. That's how our contribution really is the data which points to the topics which should be part of the sessions. That's how we design Energize. And it was really, last year when we did it in this format, people loved it. But the main themes of Energize would be growth. And so we have a competition like Shark Tank, like we call it Deep End. And actually Zenoti gives away $50,000 to the brand, which seems to have the highest prospects of growth ahead of it, kind of thing. So people come and pitch to a panel of judges and saying, here's my idea, here's where I'm going, I want to open 100 stores, and they can, and the winner gets 50,000. And of course they go through they're right now going through a filtration process with the judges where they submit all their plans, just like Shark Tank kind of thing. And then day two is a lot around AI and customer delight. We bring in, like the examples we talked about, how do you drive this online tools to drive customer delight, right? So we have even someone like Ritz-Carlton talking about what does it mean to surprise a customer. That is, customers get delighted when you deliver something which they don't expect. If you deliver what I expect, it is not a surprise. It is not a delight. It is just baseline expectation. So we are looking at what does it mean for the salon and spa industry to go and deliver something which is unexpected, kind of thing. And so you'll hear from other practitioners who do a great job of this. And so it's all about the industry talking to the industry. It's, we have maybe at best one or two sessions, one is around data and one is around AI, because we think AI is an important element. So we have some updates around that from Zenoti.
Yeah, it does appeal to a lot of multi-location. It's very different than the 2 to 10 project, which is more of a retreat and more of an opportunity to do some planning work. So they're very complementary, but different events from each other. Both definitely have a multi-location focus. One being, as you described, energized. By the way, it's energized with an I, not energized with an E, just for those of you in the chat. But they're very complementary in a week with each other. But again, 2 to 10 is more retreat focused, get away from your business, have some planning time and all that. Whereas Energize provides all this, it's equally powerful in some very different ways. All right, let's give Sudheer a virtual round of applause. Let's everybody kind of give him a little shout out there in the chat. Send him a little love if you would. And then this officially puts you into the Brain Trust, and you can expect coming in the mail your $1 million light bulb and your formal induction into the Brain Trust, which also earns you a special invitation to be part of Lightbulb Moments at the Phil next year, which is October 20th. I'm sorry, May 20th. I think I got the day right. In Austin, where, by the way, you got a master's degree, as I understand, in what, computer science, was it, or?
Yes, from Austin, yeah, Texas.
All right, so I'll be seeing you in October, and then hopefully be seeing you again in May. And then I'll also be talking to you about some of the other ideas in terms of your data work. But very well done for you and the team, and thanks for being such a great guest today.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to be here, Tom, and thanks for having me here.
All right, everybody, we got another episode coming up next week. We're going to have another great guest. His name is Rodrigo, and Rodrigo is going to share some super fascinating insights about family business, succession planning, and all sorts of other things that come out of it. So thanks to those of you that joined us live. Thanks to you that are watching the video on YouTube. And then thanks for listening to the podcast. And also shout out to the Qnity team for helping this make this happen, especially JP. All right, everybody. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.